Hi, everybody. Joe Cioffi here. Weather in 5 days in 5 minutes. As we take a look at what's going on this evening as of 5:30 p.m. Eastern Time. We see from the Storm Prediction Center we have a slew of watch boxes up from central and southern New England back to the Catskills, northeastern Pennsylvania, pretty much the eastern half of the state, all of New Jersey, Long Island, New York City. Uh, right down the I-95 corridor into Maryland and Delaware, also in Virginia and Western Virginia, Western North Carolina, Eastern Tennessee, and Southeastern Kentucky. So it's a very busy evening for sure. And as we check out the latest radar, this is the latest. This is as of 5:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And in upstate New York and up through interior New England, it's been raining with thunderstorms pretty much all day long. And there have been a number of severe thunderstorm warnings. We've got a few flash flood warnings up in parts of New Hampshire and into Maine. But we're not seeing yet too many severe thunderstorm warnings on the southern end of this from the area that extends down into northeastern Pennsylvania. That area is going to be key to what happens in northern New Jersey, the lower Hudson Valley, southern Connecticut, and Long Island. It will need to hold together as it moves eastward. We all know, at least along the coast, that a lot of times that doesn't happen, that they fall apart. There is support for these storms to hold on, but we'll see. There's a bit of a break until you get to another cluster of thunderstorms and severe weather from northern Delaware all the way down through the Washington, D.C., Baltimore area. Then there's another break, and we get into another cluster of severe weather that's moving through western Virginia, heading out of eastern Tennessee and into western North Carolina. Also in north central Tennessee, there's an east-west line of storms there. Also seeing some strong thunderstorms and some severe weather breaking out around parts of Missouri, right near St. Louis at the moment, as that cluster moves on to the southeast. So the Storm Prediction Center, this has all been encased in an area of marginal to slight risk from the plains across the middle Mississippi Valley and the Missouri River Valley, and then it goes slight risk again as you head from the Southern Appalachians northeastward up the East Coast into Massachusetts and southern New Hampshire and Vermont. So again, this is all going to play out. Most of these watches expire at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Now, as far as rainfall is concerned, over the next 7 days, uh, always remember that in the summertime it's convective. So you get a sort of a smoothed out picture of what the rainfall amounts are forecast. And then think about the fact that if a thunderstorm or two winds up sitting over your area for a longer period of time, that you could certainly wind up with double the amounts that are being indicated. So in New England, and it's from the New York state line northeastward, it's basically 1.5 inches to some pockets of 2.5 inch rainfall amounts. They tail off a bit as you head down New Jersey and Pennsylvania to 1/2 to 3/4 of an inch, maybe an inch. They pick up again in the coastal Carolinas and especially down the east coast of Florida to 2.5 inches plus. Across the lower Ohio and Tennessee Valley, anywhere from 3/4 of an inch to as much as 2 to 2.5 inches in some areas around southeastern Missouri and extreme southwestern Illinois, also in eastern Tennessee and westernmost North Carolina. And you do also have an area of 3/4 of an inch to up to several inches being indicated for parts of Colorado, Wyoming, Nebraska, into South Dakota, and points north and northwest from there. This, by the way, does not include what is going on at the moment. This is from 8 o'clock tonight, 8 p.m. this evening, until 8 p.m. Next Saturday. So we'll play out the GFS for tonight, and we go in 6-hour increments with these maps, so you can't really see what's in between. But by 8 o'clock, it's got a fairly solid line. So the GFS certainly suggests that these clusters with the gaps in the middle will fill in, and there will be a more continuous line of showers and thunderstorms that'll move through this evening across New Jersey and Long Island. We'll see if they hold together, because we know a lot of times, it's all fine and dandy when it's on the guidance, and then reality is a different story with what's on the radar. The other cluster sits over the area in Missouri, hence the flash flood risks there. Otherwise, there's not a whole lot in terms of thunderstorms going on. And then we get into a drier air mass, and this is going to probably be a bit of a stair step to climb. We'll get an initial shot of dry air to come in tomorrow. Today was the last day of highs reaching up into the 90s. It'll be more like low to mid 80s tomorrow. There's a little upper trough that comes through Sunday night into Monday morning. You see that little area of showers in southern Pennsylvania and southern New Jersey, maybe a thunderstorm in there. It's not impossible, but that brings in even drier air for Monday. Some instability showers in upstate New York and northern New England. That's always the case in the summertime. And then the core of this dry air mass comes in for Tuesday. There's another upper trough that comes through Tuesday with maybe a shower or thunderstorm with that. And then we'll be nice and dry for Wednesday into Thursday. Before what I think will be a bit more of a vigorous system that'll move along for showers and thunderstorms and a cold front coming through late Friday into Friday night of this coming week. And again, the models have been sort of playing this as a vigorous system, so we'll have to keep our eyes on it. And then once that goes by, we get another dry air mass to come down from Canada. It's an interesting upper air pattern that we're in going into the month of August, because these dry air masses will be able to come down in the northwest flow, and as long as we see the troughs wanting to stay in the eastern part of the United States, which if we look at the upper air, does seem to indicate that that is the case. These upper lows in eastern Canada, they come down and strengthen, then they pull out, and then a new one comes down to replace it. It's kind of blocky up there over Greenland, which is helping the cause. And as we move through the long range over the next 10 days to 2 weeks, it just seems to be not only more of the same, but the models are indicating that rather strong blocking develops from across northern Canada out to Greenland. And if this is the case, we could see some rather, at least some possibilities that maybe we get into some rather cool weather at some point over the next couple of weeks. So if you like dry air, you'll be happy with what's coming. And if you like a dry weather pattern with low humidity, there will be some interruptions along the way, but overall, the pattern remains pretty much the same as it has been since late June. So we'll be back tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. 10 a.m. for the Joe and Joe Weather Show. Usually we're on at 11, but Joe Rayo needed me to push it back to 10 a.m. And of course, I obliged. So 10 a.m. We'll see you then.